Hello and welcome. This is Mike D, and today I'm going to show you what the white point is in the tone mapping tab of the render settings of DAZ Studio, and how you can adjust this value in order to get better colors into your renders. The white point is the equivalent of in real life cameras white balance. We have to set in this color widget, which normally should be the white color in our scene. For example, over here I've got a NVIDIA array on, and I know that this wall behind Lucy should normally be white. Somehow I've got to pick this color from the wall and set it over here into the widget. Doing that, we will cause DAZ Studio to add into the scene the complementary colors in order to compensate for our action. So let's see which are the complementary colors for the red, which is the first number of the widget, the green, which is the second number, and the blue, which is the third number over here. Let's see now this image. The complementary color of red is the cyan, the complementary color of green is magenta, and the complementary color of blue is yellow. So, if we increase somehow the reds in our white point, actually DAZ Studio will add cyan into the scene to counterbalance. If we increase the greens, DAZ Studio is going to add more magenta, and if we're going to increase the blues, DAZ Studio is going to add more yellow. Now, if we decrease all these values, for example, if we decrease red in our white balance, actually DAZ Studio will increase reds into the scene to compensate for this action. Let's leave now this image and continue with our example. We would like to pick, as I mentioned before, this color from the wall over here and set it into the white point widget. We can do it and of course in any other color widget in DAZ Studio by holding the Shift key in our keyboard, and at the same time I can click anywhere on the color, not the numbers, the color of the widget. Now my mouse cursor has become a crosshair, and I can drag it into the scene and pick the color I want. But as you can see, as I move the mouse over any color in the scene, the white point is updated automatically, so actually I can't get the right color I want. Let's see now another way to pick this white point without having this trouble. In my scene I have a hidden plane, as you can see here, and I could use my plane's surfaces in order to pick the color I want. I'm going to reset my white point into white again, and now I can go here to the surfaces for my plane and pick the base color by holding Shift and click anywhere the color and dragging it again into my scene. As you can see now, the base color is not updated automatically, so I can pick easily the color I want. Let's say that I want this blue-gray to be my white point. I can now click anywhere on the color of this widget, open the dialog, and drag the color I want into a preset over here, let's say to the upper right corner. Let's click OK or cancel, doesn't matter. And now I can go into my white point widget, click in the color, anywhere on the color, not on the numbers, and pick the preset I set before from my plane. Now by accepting the dialog, the white point has passed into the widget. I have to clarify here that having into the white point the white color, the black color, or any of the intermediate grays, it won't affect the white point, the color balance of the scene, as all these colors have not really any color information. They're just black, whites, and the intermediate values. Now I can make more adjustments into the white point by moving my mouse over the numbers representing the red color, the green color, and the blue color, and dragging it right or left in order to increase or decrease its value. Remember that increasing a value over here will cause the studio to add the complementary color into the scene. So for the reds, for example, if I'm going to increase its number, I will cause the studio to add cyan into the scene. You can see now that my scene is more cyan. Let's get it back. If I want to add the red color, I've got to decrease its value. And as you can see now, my scene has become more reddish. Let's undo this action as well. There are some cases in which I would like to modify the white point and get it out of the normal values. For example, when I've got a portrait or I want to add some warmness into my scene. In this case, I want to add more orange, a more orange color, and I can achieve it by increasing the blue value into the white point, which means that the studio is going to add more yellow, and at the same time I could reduce my red value into the white point in order to get more reds into my scene. Now, as you can see, I've got a more orange hue into my render. In some other cases, like when I have snow or I want to add more coldness into my scene, I would like to increase my blue values. So I'm going to reset back into my original white point. And now I can reduce my blue value over here. And as you can see now, the studio is increasing the blues into my scene. If you have the tone mapping console suite, this is a product I have, and I've got a lot of scripts in there in order to interact with the Stream Deck devices. And I also have another script in this package, which is called White Point Select. This is over here in the toolbar. And this script allows you to do all these procedures very quickly, as it has a color widget, and you can use this color widget in order to set your white point. First of all, you've got to set the middle gray, so we've got back at the original white point, and by holding the Shift key and clicking anywhere on the color of the widget, I can now drag my mouse to the point I want to be my white point to the scene, and by clicking accept, the script will update the white point property over here. If you want to make any further adjustments, you can use, of course, the Stream Deck Plus device if you have one of these. And some of my scripts are responsible to interact with this device and set the red, the green, and the blue color over here, the values, using the device's knobs. For example, over here I can add a little more orange by turning my left knob, and at the same time the knob to add more yellow into the scene. And you can see that it is updated automatically. Let's put a little more red to get the result I want. I hope you find this video helpful in your future renders.